What if I could tell you could control all your cybersecurity tools from one beautiful interface? Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm beyond excited to show you something that is going to completely change how you do cybersecurity work. This is Cipher-Sentry, a single unified GUI that brings together tools like Nmap, Hydra, Metasploit, Wireshark, and more into one seamless interface. Nmap scan with real-time output, Hydra password attacking running, Metasploit console commands, TLS certificate analysis, and beautiful dashboard with metrics. No more judging terminals, no more context switching, no more trying to remember complex commands. Everything you need for reconnaissance, exploitation, and analysis is here. Built with Python and T-Incan, Cipher-Sentry isn't just another tool, it's your command center for ethical hacking. Ever felt overwhelmed juggling with Nmap in one terminal, Metasploit in another, trying to remember Hydra commands while taking notes in a third window? What if I told you there's a better way, a single software that brings order to this chaos? Introducing Cipher-Sentry, the all-in-one cybersecurity graphical user interface software. It scans with Nmap, crack passwords with Hydra, and exploit with Metasploit, analyze traffic, and generate reports all in one tool. All without ever leaving this one beautiful interface that you see on your screen. Stick with me for the next 10 minutes and I will show you how to install it, configure it, and use it like a pro. This might just become your new favorite tool. In the world of cybersecurity, fragmentation is the enemy, tools scattered, commands forgotten, efficiency lost until now. Presenting Cipher-Sentry, the unified command center for the modern cybersecurity professionals. We are going to start with a real-time Nmap scan. If you look at my screen now, you're going to see an Nmap tab, right? This is an Nmap tab here. Now let me just click on the tab. We're going to do a very basic full scan just for confirmation of how the tool works like. So first, I'll go to my target IP here. You see what I've selected is the Nmap scanner tab, right? And here I have this interface. I'll paste my IP address here. I'm just going to run this because it falls under my IP range. Now, scan type, you can click from this drop down. I have quick scan, full scan, ping scan, service detection, operating system detection, and vulnerability scan. So let me just take full scan, and I want to scan ports from port 1 to 1000, which is very common. And my option for scan, I want an aggressive scan, version detection, and script scan. If you understand Nmap, you understand all of what I'm saying, because when I just click on run Nmap scan here, you can see the command here, right? Nmap -p which is for ports, and then -a, which is for aggressive scan, and we have -sv. SV stands for service detection, and I have the IP address now. I've just hit scan, and you can see an alert down here, status, which says scanning, right? So we're just going to give it a short time to scan. Now we have our Nmap tab running perfectly. Remember, we did a full scan, and this might normally take some time because the IP address I am using is actually has stuff running on it. So we're just going to, while the Nmap tab is scanning, we're just going to move straight into the next tab, which is the Hydra. Hydra is a password cracking tool. And if you look at my screen now, I have a Hydra configuration tab on your screen. We have the target, which is the target host. This is where you put your target, right? When you talk about a target, it means the machine, the web application, or whatsoever device you're targeting to hack. And then we have the port. What port are you targeting? This is when maybe you're specific about a particular entry you want. For example, SSH. Maybe you want to enter using SSH. You just need to use port 22, which is the default SSH port. Maybe you want to get access through a web application. You might want to use HTTP, which is port 80, or maybe HTTPS, which might run also on port 443. I'm just using this as an example, but in this tutorial, I'm just going to go ahead with port 22 as the default because this is most admin entries for most servers, right? So for the target, I am using 192.168.1.1, which is my network range, and I have port 22, which is SSH, and you see the service, right? If I click on the drop down of services, you see other services like FTP, Telnet, HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, and the rest. But we're going with SSH, so I'll just leave SSH here. Now, credentials. Remember, here we are trying to crack a password, right? Meaning we need to enumerate names and we need to use a password file to crack. Just like the last tutorials I dropped where we were attacking a bank, this is the same procedure, but the last tutorial I was completely using a command line interface. Now I have implemented a graphical user interface where you can actually achieve the last project without having to use a command line. That is why I had to bring this brute force to the Hydra section. Now here we have a username. Let's assume you don't have a username, you don't know the username and the password at all, right? Under the username we have a user list. Here now you can enumerate. Watching the last video, you can know how to enumerate usernames. You just need to enumerate your usernames and you save your file in your computer. Click on this browse, it will pop up your computer's file manager, you select your user file that you created, and the list will automatically come here, right? And you can go now to passwords. We already have a rockq.txt as the default, which is one of the biggest password files in the world now, and which is perfect because it almost contains every password you can ever think about in this file. So if I have my word list.txt registered as user.txt, and I have my rockq.txt, which is the password list, I can now task how many targets am I looking at. In this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it at 4, and I'm targeting it should do this within 30 seconds. If I click on start attack here, you can see here, right, Hydra is already targeting and looking at our system to see if they can brute force and match a password with a name. I'm not going to do that on this tutorial because I did it in the last tutorial already. You just need to implement what I did on this graphical interface, and it's going to work. If you look here, they say max for tags per server, meaning it's already looking for what to brute force, username and password to match, but there's nothing there. That's why you see it cannot match, and we have an error down here. But if you're doing a real-time practice, you should have your user.txt file with your username enumeration and a password.txt if you don't want to use rockq.txt. Note, if you're using rockq.txt, it takes a longer time to brute force because it has 10 of millions of passwords saved in that file, so it needs to go through them one after another, matching them with the names you have, the names you have enumerated. So let's go to the next tab, the next feature. Now let's check out the Nmap scan we were doing, right? If you look at my screen, you'll see status shows scan is complete. And if I scroll right up, remember we focused on our script we were running an Nmap script for vulnerabilities, aggressive scan, and service detection, right? And ports, and we were scanning ports 1 to 1000. This is the result we get. If you look through, you're going to see some couple of ports like the POP3 running on 110. You will see FTP running. You will see TCP SSL/RTSP running on 440, and many others. You can even see the heading, right? So this is how Nmap works. You can use any flags you normally use in the command line to run on this tool, but you're running it from the graphical interface. That means you have to interact using your mouse, and you see everything just like click buttons and the rest, unlike the command line interface when you just have to customly write your commands and hit enter before it gives you this result. So this works exactly like Nmap, but in a more futuristic way by displaying all your information on a particular section for you to see, and you can actually select from, like we earlier said in the video, select the kind of your scan you want to run, select your target IP if you want, select the options of scan, and you run your scan. Like if you look below, you'll see common commands, right? These are common commands that you might run in every flag you run Nmap. That is why we used it. So this is how easy it is for you to use this tool and scan your target. Let's move to the next tab, the next feature, which is MSF console. Now, if you look at my screen, I have just clicked on the last tab, which is MSF console, and you see another buttons here. We have start MSF, we have stop MSF, and clear console, right? You just need to click on start your MSF. If I type help in the console and I click on send, you see it's giving me the same interface you will see with the command line interface, right? But remember, this tool is customized. It is a custom built tool, so you're not linking it to any other tool. You can just use it in any Linux distribution system. Now, just write version. You see I got the version of the console as well. I'll just clear my screen, then let me click on show exploit. It's going to display every exploit. We have so many exploits for different operating system, Metasploit and reverse TCP, so many different exploits, right? If you can look at the commands, I have show exploit and show payload. So I'm just going to stop this exploit because we have a lot of them, and I'm going to start the console again, and I'll click on show payload so that you see the payloads we have as well. Do not confuse, we have exploits and we have payloads. You can go deeper into that or study MSF, Metasploit and Metasploit if you want to understand this deeper. So you see we have so many other different payloads, and we have other buttons like show options, search, help, back, and exit. All of this works, right? You just have to stop your console and then use your next command. So this is how MSF console works. You can actually use it to run any command just like you will use on the terminal section. Remember, this tool is for those who do not like using the command line interface always. Now this is how the section for MSF console works. So I'll just move you straight into another amazing tool that we do not have on this menu here, that we have it at the top where we have tools. So we are going to launch Bob Suite and Wireshark, one of the most amazing tools hackers use almost in their day-to-day attacks. So let's go to the amazing part of the video. Now if you look at the top, you will see tools, right? I'll just click on tools and I will launch Wireshark. You see automatically it has opened the Wireshark interface. I'm just going to make a very short filter here. I'll just start, I'm pinging Google on my terminal, and now you see I'm getting traffic on my Wireshark. Remember, I do not launch this Wireshark from Kali Linux or from any distribution, operating system distribution. I launch it directly from the tool you can actually download from GitHub and try the same thing. And if I go back and I launch Bob Suite as well, you see we have the Bob Suite interface as well. You can actually use it and follow the same steps, or use it the same way you could use a Bob Suite application we have in Kali Linux, or the ones you can download from Google and use. But this is more like automation, right? Everything is being built in this system. You just need to run this system and you will have access to all of these tools. Now that we have learned the top tools in this software, I'm going to show you some lighter options that you could use for the same tools that I've just explained, but they are for lighter versions, right? You must not necessarily launch a whole tool to do this attack. That means if you're targeting a very small application, or maybe you're doing a home lab test, you can always just use these other tabs for a direct attack. For example, the cryptography tab at the beginning. You can see here that what I'm trying to do here is encrypt a password, right? The text file or the name of your password. I'm using access to admin as my password, and the algorithm shows what I want to do with the password. If you can see from the algorithm, the drop down gives you options like AES 256, we have the MD, we have the SS 256, and different options. Those are the algorithm you can choose to encrypt your file, to secure your file. And we have analysis type, we have encrypt, decrypt, hash analysis, key strength, and all of that. After selecting your algorithm and analysis type, you can analyze it to see if it's strong or not. After clicking on analysis, I've seen it right now. Let me test if brute force can work on it. You can see when I select MD5, the brute force showing that it's a warning, it's a weak encryption. That's why you see success as true, meaning an attacker can actually brute force and get into my account using this kind of encryption, right? I've chosen another section which is SSA256, which is actually the strongest. That is the best. If I analyze it, you're going to see here too that giving me the analysis. If I click on brute force test, you see there's a brute force true for AES, which is very weak encryption. So you select SSA256. Always use that. That's one of the strongest we have. And if you try brute force on this, it's going to show you false because it's very, very strong. Now, if I generate the keys, you see that I've generated. I'm using the algorithm SHA. The key size is 256 bits, and I have the public key, private key, and my hashes, right? Now, let's just move to the next tab, which is TLS SSL scanner. This one, I'm just going to use the Grey X Labs official website to scan, because here they're going to show you the TLS certificate, very few information about it. If I click scan TLS configuration, you see I have the categories, findings, I have the severity, and I have recommendation. And if you look down, you're going to see certificate details. So it gives you details about your domain deeply. And if I click on test SSL labs, you see it gives me the SSL labs configuration for Grey X Labs, and it gives me recommendation that I need to make my domain stronger. This is how powerful this tool is. Now, if I go to exploit development, here I can actually create a small payload. You can see the options we have. We have payload type. Let's just say I'm targeting a Windows. Remember, we can do this with MSF console, right? But maybe we just want a very small payload to target directly. Here we need to input our payload type. You can get that from MSF console. I showed you a lot of payloads and exploits, right? Let's say we're targeting Windows Metapita. I'll just put Windows Metapita. The L host is you as the attacker, your IP address, where you want your reserve, where you want to receive back the information from your target, right? And then we have the L port, which is the port that will listen to your reverse TCP. And on default is always 4444. And our platform we are targeting is Windows. And we have our encoder, which is X68 Shikata GA9. And if I generate payloads, you can see here we have the MSF console payload. You just need to copy it to the console tab, paste it, and run. It start automatically generating your reverse TCP payload. And here we have some few Metasploit commands you can just run directly on an IP address as well, right? And we have the network analysis tab. Here you can just test your network just like Wireshark will do as well, right? You can see we are using the ETS0. I've just run a very basic capture, and you see what I captured, right? This is from my home network. I can stop the capture and open and scan ports. If I click on scan ports, you're going to see the ports that are actually open now. This is a very, very basic scan. You can't use this for a bigger project. So you can actually use this for a basic scan, or you just launch one of these tools that I earlier talked about and do an actual deep scan. So this is how amazing this tool is. I'm going to be bringing more tools on making cybersecurity easy to use and automate the use of command line features, right? So if you love this video and want me to drop more tutorials on how to use the command line and this graphical user interface, do not forget to support the channel by just hitting the subscribe button, like, and hit the notification button, so that whenever I drop a new video, YouTube is going to notify you. If you want to download and test this product, you can click on the video description. There's a link to the GitHub where this code will be uploaded. Download the code and follow this video. If you have any questions, don't forget to drop them in the comment section. We are open to answering everybody. Thank you. I will see you in the next video.